Yes, sir.
How much you get paid?
I don't get paid. I'm doing this for free. Hey, let me tell you something. I'm doing this for free because I like to do it. Isn't that right, Miss Rooney?
Yes. Yes, he must love it.
Yes, see that?
No, how much they pay you as a cowboy?
Oh, well, I get paid because I'm a horse trainer. See, I started out riding bucking horses and bulls and growing up on a ranch, see. Well, I became a rodeo cowboy, and you don't win nothing unless you win. Unless you ride your horse and you win, it's a contest, see. And you get prize money for winning, for being having the best ride. So it's not a regular salary. You don't get paid. But now, I don't get a salary because I don't work for anybody. I'm a horse trainer, and I have many different people. I might have 10 customers at one time. I have 10 different horses at my place that I ride for them, and they pay me a certain amount per month for me to ride their horse, you see. So yes, ma'am.
Who's that name?
Oh, his name was Lester Jackson. Lester passed away now, but he was a real cowboy. And I can tell you lots of stories about Lester. He was really right. He was the top head. His name was Lester Jackson. Anybody got any more questions? Yes, sir. Yeah, Johnny Kahla. He's my his dad and my dad were first cousins.
You got a range.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, young man.
You got horses.
Yep, got horses. I got 30 horses on my plate. Well, for a lot of money. I got a few cows, you know. Well, I did have chickens, but I don't have any chickens now. I have had them down the time. Nope. Roosters, not now. Don't have any chickens or roosters right now.
Where your range at?
Huh?
Where your range at?
Winnie. You know what Winnie is? Okay, yeah, it's on Interstate 10 between Beaumont and Houston. On Interstate 10 between Beaumont and Houston.
Could you tell us a little bit about your rodeo career?
Okay, I grew up on a rodeo ranch. My daddy had rodeo stock, bucking bulls and bucking horses. Well, I was on this ranch, and I thought, well, I had always practiced stock. Well, I was going to grow up naturally to be a rodeo star. You know, I thought I was. But this, when I was 13, I got on my first bull. And when I was 14, I got on my first saddle bronc. I entered my first rodeo when I was 15. And I didn't even last one jump at that first rodeo. I had a big old rolling horse named Curly Wolf, and he jumped out, and when he jumped, he threw me forward, and I landed on his neck. And then he threw me off in front of him, and then jumped into me, ran over me, before he hit the ground. So I fell off before the first jump. I never heard of anybody fucking off before they even first jump ended, but I did. And but I went on and became a fairly decent bronc rider. Rode at Houston at Astrodome many times, over 21 times. And I rode at Fort Worth, San Antonio, Houston. I rode in California, Florida, Alabama, coast to coast. Up to Montana. I've ridden in Montana and Idaho, and Oklahoma, and Kansas, Nebraska, and Arkansas, Louisiana, you name it. I've been around when it comes to rodeoing. I've rode, and I was fourth in the nation in saddle bronc riding one year in college. Yeah.
How did you get started writing?
Well, I sat down one day. I read this article in the magazine that said writing children's books could make you some money. So I sat down and I thought, well, I might can do that. I'd never written a poem. Whenever it came time to write poems, I kind of avoided it. But I thought, well, but I knew lots of poems that other people had written, and I memorized them because I thought it was fun. You know, it was nice to have them, and I'd entertain myself with them and tell them sometimes. So I sat down and found out I had a talent for it. But I never could write before because I always tried to write good stuff. And I'd write 2 lines, I'd say, that's no good. 2 lines, that's no good. 2 lines, that's no good. Finally, I decided I was going to write this little book. So I decided it didn't matter how silly it is. So nothing could be wrong, and it got me started, you see. And I like these poems real good. And so it worked out. Like, this is how I got started. One day as I sat on the sofa, dozing and watching TV, I suddenly let my mind wander wherever it wanted to be. It wandered right out of my body and up to the top of a tree. where it joined with the daydreaming monkey, and the monkey mind joined up with me. Don't look for me there on the sofa dozing and watching TV, but look for me out in the jungle, way up in the top of a tree. The monkey is happy to betray me, but he's not as happy as me. For now I am out in the jungle, and he's stuck home watching TV. And I have an ambition to write several more books. I want to write another novel, and I want to write another, and I've written enough poems for another poetry, cowboy poetry book, and I want to write another novel, and I'm not sure about what I want to write. I haven't spoken to the man yet, but there's a real cowboy who was a bull rider and bulldogger and worked on ranches all his life named Elton LaDay. And Elton's a black cowboy, and he's now a storyteller and something. He went to Washington, D.C. for a cowboy storytelling deal. He goes and he tells stories all over, and Elton is well known as a great storyteller, but he never did learn to read and write. So I wanted to work with Elton to write a book of his stories, and that's one of my ambitions, see. And I have, because when I was growing up, there were more black cowboys than white cowboys on the ranches. There was lots and lots of both, because then they had screwworms, and you had to work the cattle every day. You had to go ride the pastures and look at the cows every day, because screwworms, you had to check them, because one day screwworms could kill a calf. And so there was lots of cowboys riding, and they had this thing called bone disease. They didn't know what caused it. It was a mineral deficiency. It would make cows eat bones. They didn't get enough phosphorus. And so I wrote a poem about that, about leading horses to White Ranch. Now, this is a little play on words. It's about leading instead of riding. I'd ride and bronc for the W Cross. Between me and them weren't no love lost. I wasn't fond of them, and they most surely must have hated me. I knew they did by the way they'd fight and buck and bellow with all their might and fill my life with pain and misery. Well, I caught this snake one summer day and started out to earn my pay. But then was the days when a buckaroo could, look at there. See, I caught myself. Started out to earn my pay, but then was, look at there, I forgot that. Can you believe that? All the poems I told today, and I forgot that. I'm going to read it to you, okay?
This is the first one he's forgotten all day.
I was riding wrong with the W Cross. Me and them weren't no love lost. I wasn't fond of them, and they most surely must have hated me. I knew they did by the way they fight and buck and bellow with all their might and fill my life with pain and misery. Well, I caught this snake one summer day and started out to earn my pay. To think a cowboy is what I thought I'd want to be. Well, then was the days of bone disease, the cows that chew up bones and trees and anything else they thought might give them evil. Well, I roped this cow with a bone in her mouth, and I laid a trip and I headed south. And I'll tell you how that outlaw broke an egg in me. We stretched the twine, and we laid her down, and before my foot near hit the ground, he broke in two and went his eyes any horse could ever be. Well, he bucked me, bellered, and he swallowed his head, and I thought, oh no, this time I'm dead. Salt grass, marsh, and gator holes, as far as my two weary eyes could see. Well, I landed face first on the ground, right by a big old muskrat back down. By then, the taste of mud and dirt was nothing new to me. When I come to, I began to talk. I told that bronc, for that you'll walk. Back to White's Ranch, you'll walk. You wait and see. Well, I led that horse 10 miles that day. I guess I really made him pay. I showed that bronc, there ain't no horse can be the best of me. Now, my daughter, my oldest girl, is scared to death of frogs. But my youngest daughter loves frogs and lizards. Isn't that funny? The younger one will take lizards and let them bite her ear and hang on. I saw a frog the other day. He came into our house to play and sat up on the windowsill to catch some bugs and eat his fill. Then Big Sister said, oh no, a frog, that frog must go. Please take him out and set him free. He scares the daylights out of me. Then Little Sister said, sauntered by. The little froggy caught her eye. She said, oh my, that frog is fine. Can I have him? Can he be mine? I'll take him back to school with me for all other kids to see. Then Little Sister set him free, to let him be all he will be. For he's a wild and natural part of all the world that God did start. This world would be a lonely place without each type, each kind, each race. Dark and light, short and tall. Why can't we just make room for all and do unto the other one as we would have ourselves be done. Now one Sunday after church, my wife and I were sitting around the house, and she wanted to clean house. And I wanted to take an out and read the paper. So you know who's the boss around my house? Yep. After I got through washing dishes and picking up the yard and doing the chores, I wrote this morning. I know that us cowboys are supposed to be tough, never do housework, dishes and stuff. We're supposed to ride horses and drive them big rigs. But if I don't help her, she calls me a pig. If I don't do dishes, the laundry, the floors, if I don't clean toilets and help with the chores, then she just might leave. Then where would I be? With no one to cook for or clean for but me? More likely the doghouse is where I'd abide. Scratching the fleas they crawl up my hide, fighting old Rover for scratching the bone. But only that dog between me and alone. So boys, you can rib me and treat me unkind. Hoorah me and mock me, I really don't mind, because helping her out is the least I can do. After all that she does here for me and my crew. Me and the kids here, we know where we stand. With kisses and kindness and love that is grand, she works hard all week and she cooks and she cleans. And still through it all, son, she looks like a queen. So boys, you can laugh, you can call me some names. But here with my sweetheart is where I'll romance. Working together through love and through life. And thank God in heaven for making my wife. My father-in-law weighs about 300 pounds. And he said, hey, that'll get you a spam sandwich every once in a while. You know, yes, I've got a son, 13. He runs track and plays basketball and rides horses. I've got one son and two daughters. One daughter 16, a son 13, and a daughter 24 that's a high school English teacher. That's it. Maybe high school. 24 years old. How old am I? Oh, I'm over the hill. Roses are red, buzzes are black. I'm over the hill and I'll never be back. Hey, let me tell you something important here. Let's make a country western song. We already did a rap song. Let's do a country song. Up to the bank and Aunt can go and stand up. Try to talk with my friend. Man can't walk up to the man and look him in the eye. But there are things man can do we can't even try. He may be small, that ain't all, cause his legs long enough to reach the ground.